What if the biggest threat to the music industry isn't another superstar, but 5 artists who decided they don't need record labels anymore? While most musicians still fight to sign deals with giants like Universal Music Group or Sony Music Entertainment, SB19 chose a different path. They built their own company, kept control of their music, and turned their fandom into a powerful global engine. Now, the traditional system is paying attention. Because if this model spreads, the balance of power in music could change fast. Like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Before understanding why SB19 worries the industry, we need to understand the powerful machine they're disrupting. For decades, global music has been dominated by corporate giants like Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group. These labels built a system where artists rely on them for nearly everything: funding recordings, marketing releases, controlling distribution, and negotiating brand deals. In return, labels often take the largest share of revenue and ownership of the music itself. For years, artists had no alternative. But streaming, social media, and direct fan connections began breaking those barriers. Now the system isn't unshakable anymore, and SB19 stepped directly into those cracks. Most artists who leave record labels simply try to survive independently. SB19 did something far more strategic. They built their own company, SB Entertainment. This wasn't just a business move. It was a shift in power. Instead of relying on executives to make decisions, the group began developing their own production pipeline, branding strategy, creative direction, and artist management. That structure gave them something extremely rare in modern pop music: complete control. They could release music whenever they wanted, experiment with bold concepts, and launch collaborations instantly without corporate approval. In a digital era where trends move overnight, speed becomes a competitive advantage, and SB19 suddenly had it. In the modern music business, the most valuable currency isn't popularity or even chart success, it's ownership. Specifically, ownership of master recordings, the original versions of songs that generate revenue every time music is streamed, licensed, or used commercially. For decades, the traditional record label model has been built around this principle. When artists sign contracts with major companies like Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, or Warner Music Group, they often give up the rights to those masters. In return, labels finance production, promotion, and distribution. The artist receives a portion of the profits, but the company retains the long-term asset. This system has shaped the industry for generations because music catalogs are incredibly valuable. A successful song doesn't just earn money during its initial release. It can generate revenue for decades through streaming platforms, film soundtracks, advertising campaigns, and global licensing deals. Whoever owns the masters ultimately controls how that music continues to live and earn. This is where SB19 introduced a powerful shift. By operating through their independent structure and their company SB Entertainment, they retain far greater control over their creative assets. That means they can decide how their songs are used, which brands they collaborate with, and how their musical legacy evolves over time. For traditional labels, this change is deeply significant. Their influence has historically relied on controlling valuable catalogs. If more artists begin prioritizing ownership the way SB19 has, labels lose their most powerful bargaining chip, and the balance of power begins moving toward creators. When many artists dream of international success, their strategy usually begins with one goal: breaking into the Western market, particularly the United States. For decades, America has been seen as the center of the global music industry, where validation from major labels, media networks, and award shows could propel an artist into worldwide recognition. But SB19 took a different route, one that quietly challenged this long-standing assumption. Instead of focusing immediately on Western expansion, SB19 prioritized building a strong foundation across Asia. This decision was strategically powerful. The Asian entertainment market has been expanding rapidly, with millions of passionate music fans across Southeast Asia, East Asia, and beyond. By strengthening their presence within this region first, SB19 cultivated a loyal audience that connected deeply with their cultural identity and artistic message. This regional focus allowed the group to build something extremely valuable: stability. Rather than chasing short-term global hype, they established long-term fan relationships and strong community support. Their fandom grew organically, creating momentum that didn't depend on Western gatekeepers or corporate endorsement. By the time international attention started growing, SB19 was no longer trying to prove their value. They already had a powerful audience behind them. That meant global opportunities were approached from a position of confidence rather than dependency. This strategy challenges a deeply rooted belief in the music industry that artists must first succeed in the West before they can succeed globally. SB19 demonstrated another path entirely: build strength locally, expand regionally, and then step onto the global stage on your own terms. One of the most powerful forces behind the rise of SB19 isn't just their music or choreography, it's the extraordinary strength of their fandom. Known as A10, their supporters function less like casual listeners and more like a highly organized digital community. In the traditional music industry, fan engagement often happens passively. People listen to songs, attend concerts, and occasionally share content online. But the SB19 ecosystem operates very differently. A10 actively participates in the group's success. Fans coordinate streaming events to boost chart performance, organize online campaigns to promote new releases, and amplify SB19's content across social media platforms worldwide. This collective effort generates a wave of visibility that many artists can only achieve through expensive marketing campaigns. In traditional label systems, companies often spend millions on advertisements, radio placements, and promotional partnerships to create similar exposure. SB19's model flips that equation. Their fandom-driven promotion produces organic momentum that algorithms love. Streaming platforms prioritize songs with strong engagement, while social media platforms reward posts that generate rapid interaction. When thousands of fans actively share and discuss content, it naturally spreads far beyond the original audience. This fan-powered ecosystem creates something incredibly valuable: loyalty. Instead of relying on temporary trends, SB19 benefits from a community that genuinely believes in their journey. In an era where attention is fleeting, that kind of sustained support becomes a powerful business engine, one that traditional labels are still learning how to replicate. Creativity thrives on speed, experimentation, and freedom. Yet the traditional record label system was designed for a much slower era. Inside large music corporations, releasing a single song often requires approval from multiple departments: executives, marketing teams, brand managers, legal advisors, and distribution partners. Each layer introduces delays, discussions, and strategic revisions. What begins as a creative idea can take months, sometimes even years, before reaching the public. This is where the independent structure of SB19 creates a significant advantage. Operating through 1Z Entertainment, the group maintains far greater control over their creative process. They can determine when music is released, how visual concepts are developed, and what promotional strategies align with their artistic vision. Instead of waiting for corporate approval cycles, decisions can be made quickly within their own team. In the modern digital landscape, this agility is incredibly valuable. Trends on social media can emerge and fade within days. Viral moments can explode overnight and disappear just as quickly. Artists who can respond immediately, releasing new content, engaging fans, or adapting concepts, are far more likely to capture those opportunities. Large corporations, by contrast, are not built for rapid creative adaptation. Their complex structures prioritize risk management and large-scale planning rather than spontaneous innovation. SB19's independence allows them to evolve their artistry at internet speed, experimenting with ideas while maintaining direct control over their identity. For legacy industry systems, this kind of creative freedom represents something deeply disruptive. artists who no longer need corporate permission to shape their own narrative. It's important to clarify something about the reaction from the traditional music industry. Major labels are not reacting with emotional fear toward the rise of SB19. What they are experiencing is strategic concern. Companies like Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group have spent decades refining a system where labels sit at the center of every major music career. Their infrastructure provides funding, distribution, marketing networks, and industry connections. And in return, they maintain significant control over the artist's commercial assets. However, the model demonstrated by SB19 introduces a different possibility. If artists can develop their own operational infrastructure through independent companies, direct fan engagement, and digital distribution, the necessity of traditional label control begins to weaken. Instead of surrendering ownership in exchange for opportunity, artists could negotiate distribution partnerships while maintaining control of their creative and financial assets. That distinction is critical. When artists depend entirely on labels, the power dynamic heavily favors the corporation. But when artists already possess audiences, revenue streams, and operational systems, negotiations shift dramatically. The label is no longer the gatekeeper to success, it becomes one of several potential collaborators. Executives across the industry are watching this experiment carefully because it represents more than a single group's career strategy. It is a real-world test of whether artists can build vertically integrated ecosystems that compete with legacy structures. If the model continues proving successful, the traditional balance of power in the music industry could gradually tilt toward creators. While the financial and structural implications of SB19's independent system are significant, the deeper disruption may actually be psychological. For decades, the music industry operated on a widely accepted belief. If an artist wanted to reach global success, signing with a major label was almost unavoidable. That assumption shaped how aspiring musicians approached their careers. Young performers spent years trying to attract the attention of companies like Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, believing those corporations held the keys to international visibility. But examples like SB19 introduce a powerful counter-narrative. Their journey demonstrates that artists can build audiences, generate global attention, and operate professional entertainment systems without relying entirely on traditional label structures. That kind of proof changes how emerging artists think about their options. Proof is incredibly influential in creative industries. When one group successfully breaks a pattern, it opens the mental door for thousands of others to imagine new possibilities. Young musicians watching SB19's rise may begin approaching their careers differently. Instead of asking, "How do I get signed by a label?" they might start asking, "How do I build my own platform first?" This shift in mindset could have profound long-term consequences. If future artists begin thinking like entrepreneurs, focusing on ownership, infrastructure, and direct fan relationships, the industry pipeline that once funneled talent toward major labels may gradually evolve into something far more decentralized and creator-driven. SB19's independent model isn't just about leaving a label, it's about building a fully integrated system, and that's hard to replicate. Independence demands more than talent. It requires discipline, long-term planning, and business savvy. Artists must manage production, marketing, finances, partnerships, and strategic growth simultaneously. Without structure, independence can quickly lead to burnout or mismanagement. SB19 succeeded because they approached their career like a business, combining creative vision with careful planning, cultivating fan relationships, and developing infrastructure before scaling. This structured independence is rare, making their system sustainable and difficult for other groups to imitate. The rise of SB19 signals a major shift in the global music industry. Technology now allows artists to distribute music worldwide, communicate directly with fans, analyze engagement data, and launch independent brands, all without relying solely on labels. This doesn't mean record companies will vanish, but their role is evolving from gatekeepers to collaborators. The most successful musicians will combine artistry with entrepreneurship, building brands, and controlling their creative assets. SB19 exemplifies this new era, demonstrating that artists can own their work, mobilize fans, and innovate freely. The real question isn't if the industry will change, it's how fast.